So what makes The Night Watch so great? Well, what hits me right away is the balance that Rembrandt strikes between chaos and unity. He clearly wanted to create a canvas with a lot of movement, but the challenge was how to make that movement, people lurching in different directions, performing a variety of actions, cohere into a unified whole. The keystone, the part of the painting that holds everything in place, are the dual figures of the captain and his lieutenant. The rest of the portrait moves away from them diagonally. Indeed, Rembrandt places these lines directly onto the painting in the form of weapons and poles. And the effect isn't just two-dimensional. And maybe the most striking thing is the captain and the lieutenant seem to be emerging from the picture plane, the captain's hand ordering the company forward. It's as if you could grab it and pull him out of the frame. The lieutenant's partisan, the spear-like weapon he's holding in his left hand, is so expertly foreshortened, it feels like it could cut you. In fact, based on the angle and the placement of the weapon's shadow on the ground, the partisan is beyond the picture plane. Or at least, it should be. Another trick Rembrandt uses to achieve this effect is one that will be familiar to filmmakers. The figures in the front are painted with detail and clarity, while the further back you go in the composition, the softer and hazier things seem to get. Rembrandt is mimicking depth of field, an optical phenomenon that can make objects in focus pop from their backgrounds. All of these effects were carefully planned by Rembrandt to anchor the composition around the central figures. The longer you look at The Night Watch, the more meaning emerges from this burst of frenetic energy. For example, the three men with guns are performing the three main actions associated with the arquebus, the primary weapon of this particular guild: loading, firing, and blowing clear the gunpowder pan. In fact, these poses match almost perfectly engravings from a book called Exercise of Arms, a famous manual on how to use weaponry released at the beginning of that century. This particular civic guard, the Clovineers, is signaled again in the chicken that's hanging from the young girl's waist. A similar claw was on the Clovineers' coat of arms. And while the captain's hand points toward the viewer, its shadow points toward his company's function. It's cradling the emblem of Amsterdam, a lion and three crosses. The Clovineers were supposed to protect the city.